I could not believe in the existence of aliens in antiquity until archaeologists showed these finds. During the famous UFO incident in 1947, a unique object was discovered near Roswell in the USA. A figurine from ancient Egypt suggests ancient Egyptian connections with extraterrestrials. Check out this video for these finds and more. Hi friend, you're on the KirTop channel. Ancient dagger in India. Let's take a ride to the incredibly interesting state of Tamil Nadu, south of India. In this place, a team of archaeologists stumble upon the ancient ghost town of Kontage and a completely forgotten civilization. It was then that they discovered a super mysterious artifact, an iron dagger. The dagger is 2,500 years old and still in good condition, with a wooden handle. The director of the State Department of Archaeology is sure that the dagger was used during the Sanam era, and this was approximately from the 3rd century BC to the 3rd century AD. To be 100% sure, the researchers sent the find to the United States for examination. But that is not all. Archaeologists have also found human skeletons, animal remains, and even entire houses with brick walls and mud floors. Apparently, our Indian ancestors were very advanced. They played board games, had their own language and writing. Roswell Disc. The Roswell Disc is a mystical artifact rumored to have been found near Roswell, New Mexico, after the famous 1947 UFO incident. According to some reports, the disc was part of the wreckage of an identified flying object. The disc was a round metal plate with a diameter of about 3 meters, with unusual symbols and markings on the surface that could not be attributed to any known terrestrial language. The material from which the disc was made turned out to be unidentified and had strange properties. Some sources claim that the disc was given into military hands and studied in secret laboratories. Those who have been able to see it have spoken of its potential connection to extraterrestrial technology and the ability to store information superior to all earthly counterparts. Over time, the Roswell Disc has become a symbol of conspiracy theories and mysteries related to UFOs. Its existence is still disputed and is the subject of debate among scientists and researchers of the paranormal. The disc has become a legend in UFO circles, and many believe it is kept in secret government archives, along with other artifacts that point to extraterrestrial interference in the affairs of mankind. Droplets of the ancient ocean. Imagine that 600 million years ago, our Earth was covered with ice, like a huge snowball. This is called the Snowball Earth hypothesis. But how can we know if it actually happened? The answer is found in the highest mountains in the world, the Himalayas. Scientists from India and Japan have discovered drops of ancient water in the mountains. These drops may be a part of the ocean floor that existed when the Earth was covered in ice. Analysis of these droplets showed that for a long time there was no calcium intake to the oceans. This could explain why there is more oxygen in the atmosphere, and perhaps even help us understand how the evolution of complex life forms began. At this time, no river water entered the oceans and there was no calcium. This could lead to the growth of special bacteria, which began to release more oxygen into the atmosphere. This discovery is not just an amazing glimpse into the past. This could help us to understand the Earth's climate in the future. This is how science works. By studying ancient secrets, we will learn more about what lies ahead of us. Neolithic necklace of 2,500 beads. Archaeologists have recovered an ancient necklace found in the grave of a young child. And it was not just a child, but our great, you know what I mean, an ancestor who lived around 7,400–6,800 BC in the Levant. Now you're thinking, so what? It's just a necklace. But here's the trick. This necklace consisted of over 2,500 beads. Never before have such thing been found on Middle Eastern Neolithic sites. Here's how it was. In the 1980s, not far from the famous Petra in the south of Jordan, archaeologists discovered a place called Baha. This is a prehistoric settlement lost among the sandstone cliffs. It was a real village, busy growing weeds, collecting wild plants and hunting. Archaeologists are sure that the inhabitants of Baja most often buried their loved ones outside the settlement, but sometimes graves were built right inside it, under the floors of the houses. In one of these graves under the floor of an ancient dwelling in 2018, the remains of a child were found. She lived for about 8 years, and according to anthropologists, it was a girl. She had a unique necklace around her neck, a whole collection of beads of different sizes, shapes, and colors, as well as a ring with many holes and a pendant. Analysis showed that turquoise, hematite, calcite, and sea mollusk shells were used to make beads, and even 2 beads turned out to be amber, the oldest amber jewelry ever found. These beads, according to scientists, once made up a huge multi-row necklace up to 6 meters long. Ice Age Cave Entrance. In southern Germany, in the Brudertal Valley, scientists have discovered the entrance to a cave hidden in secret. Probably was visited by primitive people in the era of the last ice age about 16,000 years ago. Imagine a picture, a rural landscape, a lake, and nearby the city of Constance. Then look up and you will see the hidden entrance to the cave. Archaeologists believe that this cave was home to ancient hunters and gatherers, and they left traces of their presence here. But what secrets can the walls of this cave hold? Presumably, this place is associated with the Magdalene culture of the late Paleolithic. Archaeologists have found flint tools, horn ornaments, images on the walls, and even mammoth tusk figurines there. The Brudertal Valley is not new to archaeologists. In the same valley, the Petersfels Cave was discovered, where graceful figurines made of coal resembling female bodies were found. An interesting story is connected with this cave. In 1978, while laying a sewer, scientists accidentally discovered an underground chamber. They excavated and found evidence of primitive people visiting the cave and then blocked the entrance. And now, only in 2023, thanks to modern research methods, scientists managed to rediscover this secret. Why were mummies hidden in caves? In a cave in Lebanon in 1999, archaeologists and cave specialists discovered a real treasure: 8 amazingly well-preserved mummies that are almost 8 centuries old. This mysterious cave in the Kadisha Valley could once have been inhabited by humans. There was even an artificial reservoir near the cave, and the cave itself had 2 rooms where perhaps someone lived. The mummies found here belonged to Maronite people and were naturally mummified in the cave. Unlike the Egyptian mummies, no one embalmed the bodies here. Among them was a little girl, buried with her mother on her left shoulder, as they do in Lebanon today. Many amazing artifacts were found along with the mummies. For example, a baby named Yasmin was dressed in 3 dresses: blue, beige, and dark beige with silk embroidery. She was even given a beautiful silk headband and jewelry. This amazing find in Lebanon is not just a historical treasure, it is a mysterious story about people who lived 8 centuries ago, and a mystery that we are just beginning to unravel. Wooden Stonehenge. Archaeologist Antonio Valero and his team in the Perdigus complex discovered an ancient wooden Stonehenge dating back to 2800–2600 BC. This circular foundation, 20 meters in diameter, is part of a huge megalithic landscape in the eastern part of the country. Such structures are found only in Central Europe and the British Isles. This wooden structure was the gathering place for the tribes for ceremonial rituals and astronomical observations. It was built and used for 1,400 years, and this is the first such structure in the Iberian Peninsula. Even the location shows that it served as a kind of ancient calendar, since the entrances to the halls are oriented to the solstice and equinox. Remains of a village in Teotihuacan. Imagine the mysterious world of the ancient Mexican city of Teotihuacan, where up to 125,000 people lived. Archaeologists recently made a startling discovery in the Tlatelolco area of Mexico City, the remains of a Teotihuacan village dating back to 450–650 AD. This is not just a village, this is a world of canals, stone structures, and arts and crafts. This village was not just a place for fishermen as previously thought. It had a complex economy and was connected to other government centers in Teotihuacan. The village has been an important part of Mexican history, stretching from Aztec times to the 20th century. Archaeologists have even discovered a unique farming system developed by the Aztecs. Ancient Roman boat in Serbia. Serbian miners, right in the heart of coal mine not far from the historic town of Viminasium, discovered a unique find. They found a boat that had been buried in the ground and slept there for about 1,700 years. Archaeologists are still in the process of research, but suggest that this watercraft was built in the 3rd or 4th century AD. The boat was a kind of food delivery for the Roman military and the population of Viminasium. All supplies were transported along the Danube and small rivers straight to the city. This is indicated by its design, similar to modern cargo barges. Archaeologists expect that this Roman barge was 20 meters long and 3.5 meters wide. The wood is surprisingly well preserved due to the moisture at depth. Perhaps the boat moved with the help of oars or even a sail. Ivory Figurine. In the Hohlfels cave in Germany, archaeologists have found a piece of ivory carved with unprecedented precision. This mysterious detail appears to be part of an artifact found 20 years ago. So what is it? Big horse head? Or perhaps a bear or a lion? Professor Conrad of the University of Tübingen and his team suggest that the figurine was carved around 35,000 years ago during the Ice Age and now consists of 5 fragments found at different times. The current find, a piece of ivory measuring 4 by 2.5 by 0.55 centimeters with fine engravings, was identified as the right shoulder and chest of the animal. This prompted scientists to look for the rest of the figurine among the many ivory artifacts, and they found another part that cannot be directly connected to the rest of the body. Maybe it's part of the left front leg. What do you think? Ancient people mined coal. Frozen coal for centuries revealed its secrets to researchers. It turns out that our ancient ancestors in northwest China started mining and using coal as fuel around 3,600 years ago. For a long time, we thought that coal was only used during the Chinese Han Dynasty, about 2,152 1,730 years ago. But new finds are ready to change history. Archaeologists conducted an analysis at an excavation site in the Xinjiang region of China where a Bronze Age settlement was discovered. Around 3,800 years ago, the people of this region were already growing crops and domesticating livestock as well as working in bronze, and coal could serve as a source of energy for these purposes. Archaeologists believe that people in ancient times tried to burn coal from all these places and realized that some coals were of better quality than others. Coal became a common resource as a growing population and steel production demanded more fuel resources. So the search for new sources of fuel began a long time ago, from the very beginning of man. At first it was plants about 790,000 years ago, then wood, charcoal and manure. And now we know that coal has also entered this long history of using various energy sources. Spirit protection mirror. In the north of Israel, in the ancient city of Usha, school children found a unique item that was used to protect against evil spirits. This happened within the framework of the state program Survival Course for Young Leaders. Usha is a place with a rich history. In the 2nd century AD, the Sanhedrin, the main authority of the Jews, even lived there. But our artifact is even older. Scientists have confirmed that this is a fragment of the frame of a small mirror that was popular from the late Roman era until the advent of Islam. But it was not just a mirror, it was an amulet to scare away demons. This mirror hung on the wall of the house like a charm. Maybe our ancestors had their own methods of dealing with evil spirits. At that time, Christianity and Judaism lived side by side with ancient beliefs and magic. Therefore, after a Christian prayer, a Jew could go to a fortune teller, decorate the house with amulets and mirrors, as they say, just in case. So the next time you hang a mirror on your wall, think about how your ancient ancestors did it thousands of years ago. Perhaps you not only decorate your home, but also scare away ancient evil spirits. Sphinx from Mars. The Sphinx from Mars was discovered in 1976 during archaeological excavations in Egypt. This unique figurine, only 10 centimeters high, has amazed scientists with its strange resemblance to the famous Martian Sphinx depicted in photographs taken by the Viking 1 space probe. The figurine was found in a tomb dated to the 3rd dynasty of the Pharaohs, and it was part of an ancient collection of artifacts. It was engraved with symbols and signs that did not look like traditional Egyptian hieroglyphs and which have not yet been deciphered. Many scientists and UFO researchers began to speculate that the figurine could be evidence of contact between the ancient Egyptians and extraterrestrial civilizations. According to some theories, the Sphinx from Mars was a kind of key or device for communicating with cosmic beings. Ancient texts found near the artifact artifact spoke of gods from heaven who supposedly visited Earth in ancient times. There was a version that it was these gods who gave the figurine to the pharaohs. The Sphinx from Musk continues to attract the attention of scientists and paranormal enthusiasts. Some consider it to be irrefutable proof of the existence of extraterrestrial life, while skeptics argue that this is just a coincidence and an interesting archaeological artifact. Slavic graves in Germany. In the city of Brandenburg an der Havel in Germany, archaeologists have come across something truly amazing. They unearthed a 10th century cemetery where each of the 18 graves contained many burial gifts that had not yet been seen in similar excavations in the region. Moreover, 3 of these graves are children's burials, and each of them is a whole story written without a single word. Have you ever wondered where the name Brandenburg comes from? It may be related to the Slavic term Brany Bor, which means defensive or border forest. And now, on this land, which the Slavs have mastered since the 6th century, we see unique evidence of their life and culture. This cemetery is different from others. Here, the graves are placed with a certain structure, and instead of coffins, original wooden burial chambers were used, which is quite unusual for those times in this region. And the most exciting thing is the funeral gifts. Imagine about 40 items were recovered from the grave of a 6-year-old girl, including glass beads, fish vertebrae, even a bronze bead, as well as quartz and carnelian and glass beads of different colors. Ancient doll in Italy. Recently in Italy, archaeologists discovered a clay figurine about 7,000 years old. This treasure was carefully preserved by the Batifrata cave, where the first agricultural communities on the peninsula lived. This artifact is a real rarity, especially for Italy, where there are practically no such finds. The figurine is a doll whose face is depicted rather schematically, but the most interesting thing is her hairstyle and jewelry made with special attention to detail. Think for yourself, 7,000 years ago, people used this cave not only as a source of water or a place for living, hunting, and farming. They performed their mysterious rituals there, and it seems that this small clay doll was one of the main figures in these rituals. Unfortunately, we still have little evidence about exactly how these ancient rituals took place, but this figurine is a valuable key to unraveling the mysteries of the past. Therefore, subscribe to the channel, and together we will learn more about the mysterious history of the Batifrata cave and its ancient inhabitants. And also write kind comments under the video, which I will definitely answer. Thanks for your views, bye everyone!